Hey guys, this is Giselle, and this is my channel Dizzy Doggo, where I authentically and awkwardly share my life with you. Today I'm going to talk about how I've mapped out the next 3 years of my life, and so yeah, let's get into the show. That was a Gary Vee reference. It was really bad. That's the awkward part. So I've mentioned before that I love this YouTube channel called Lavender, and so she did this series recently about how to live your dream life, and she did different components, and one of them that I really enjoyed was about mapping out the next 3 years of your life, which is the inspiration for this video that I'm doing. 3 years is a good number because it gives you some distance and some objectivity from where you are right now, but it's also not so far ahead in the future where it's impossible to plan for. I mapped out my next 3 years in terms of the academic calendar because I'm 21, my entire life up until this point has been school, so that's just how I think about time. This upcoming year is my senior year, and so I have to graduate, so planning for courses is really important. I mapped out by semester the courses I need to take in order to graduate. I will also be the treasurer of the Photographers Collective this upcoming year, which is something else that I had to factor in. And I'm really excited about that because it's going to help me build my resume and also give me some practical experience. So I'm thinking about these things like my resume and experience because I have to start preparing for what my life is going to be like after I graduate. So it's important to think ahead because I can know what steps I need to take in order to set myself up. Setting yourself up usually has a negative connotation, so maybe that's not what I mean, but you know what I mean. So at the same time, as I'm trying to prepare for after college, I also have to reflect on myself and know myself. I know that as someone who struggles with fatigue and anxiety, I can't handle even a part-time job on top of a full-time school schedule, plus my responsibilities as the treasurer of the Photographers Collective. I know that internships during the school year is kind of not an option for me. I just want to be honest and realistic with myself. So I'm thinking about what kind of work I want to be doing, because I also still need money because I'm broke. So I want to do flexible things like being an artist assistant or doing odd jobs like building a Squarespace website for someone, or just little things like that. It gives me control over my schedule, and it's also just fun for me. So the internship that I'm at right now, I'm working with many different professional artists, and I'm trying to establish relationships with them, which could hopefully lead to artist assistant jobs. The last thing I took into consideration for my senior year is that I'm also going to be applying for the BFA program at my school. And so the way my school's art program works is that you fulfill a BA in studio art, and after you have fulfilled your major requirements, you can apply for the BFA. So the BFA is kind of structured as a 5th-year program, and there's only about 2 or 3 classes that I would be taking during that whole year. Maybe not 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5. I have to look into the exact numbers, but basically it wouldn't be a full-time schedule. But I would have my own studio, and which I'm so excited about. I mean, this is granted if I get into the BFA program, but when you think about your life in the best case scenario, then you're striving towards it as if it's a reality, you know? So at this point, I would definitely want either a part-time job or an internship that I can do throughout the year. At this point, I would have exhausted the 4-year scholarship, so I definitely need the extra income, and I would have more time to do so. Even though there's a lot of studio hours that I've been needing to do outside of my class time, I definitely would need to pick up a part-time job or a internship, a year-long internship or something that can really help me dive deeper into the work field, because after I get my BFA, then I'd really graduate. So after I graduate, whether it be this upcoming semester or after I do the BFA, I obviously am trying to get a full-time job. And I feel like I have been taking the route that would help me prepare for that. I mean, obviously internships, but also just trying to establish just relationships with people within the field, and just being proactive and reaching out to people, and yeah, just making friends. Networking is honestly, not just in the art field, but especially in the art fields, networking is so much more important, honestly, than even having a degree. After I graduate, I don't want to dive straight into grad school because, one, I don't want to take out loans. That's something that I really feel strongly about, so I need to save up money in order to go to grad school and apply for grants and scholarships and things. And I also just don't know exactly what program I would do because I love art making. I would do an MFA, but I also love art history and maybe curating or arts administration. So I don't know if I would go that route. So I think spending a few years, at least 2 or 3 years, just working in the industry and kind of refining more and preparing myself more for what I want to do before I make that kind of investment. And so yeah, that's the end of this activity that I did, and I would really recommend to everyone to just take like literally just 10 minutes to sit down and set some short-term, long-term goals for yourself, because when you have a loose idea of where you want to be and you can envision it, you can take the steps that you need to make it happen. And even if you don't end up there, that's the thing, like this is flexible, like there's no way to actually plot out your life and have it go exactly how you want it to go. But if you're moving into a certain direction, like you're at least making progress, and wherever you end up is where you're meant to be. But if you're not heading in a certain direction and taking the steps to set yourself on certain paths, you're not growing and you're just remaining stagnant. It's good to channel your energy into a certain direction. Even if you don't know what you want to do and you have no idea, you have to just try things. There's no way you're going to know what you want to do or what you don't want to do until you just try things. So it's all about being active and moving forward, gaining life experiences, not for the purpose of checking off things on a list, but just living a fuller and richer life. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I wish you guys the best of luck with your life. And yeah, thanks for watching this video. I love you guys. Bye.